Jesus, when they come to him and say, "Oh, good master," he said, "Why thou hast called me good?" And later in the verse, the guy goes, "Oh, master." He takes away the good, meaning that he's been corrected.
How does one know what's good?
No, but God to deny that he's good.
He denied that. He asked.
He said, "Why do you call me good?" But if you see, it's a corrective way, because in the later passage, the person who's asking no longer says good.
If I come up to you and if I say, "Yo, bad man," you're gonna stop me and say, "Why do you call me bad?"
Yeah, and then if you correct yourself and don't say bad after that, that means I've corrected you. And this is exactly how that person understood it. And this is like upon verse. I don't want to get away from the original topic. The original topic is, in the beginning, the Jews were expecting a Messiah. That Messiah was supposed to redeem Jesus.
No, you said the right word. So what does the Quran mean when it calls Jesus the Messiah?
We believe that he was chosen one. He was a prophet from amongst prophets.
What does Messiah mean?
Messiah comes from where we say Masaha, which means to anoint. As a Semitic, anointed. The prophets are all chosen. The Prophet Muhammad say, Allah, he had chosen me from Bani Ismail, the children of Ismail, from Quraysh, from my tribe. So it's not something which is.
What I need to know is, what does it mean to be the anointed one?
Yeah, it means to be chosen. The prophets, Anbiya. I think you're moving from topic to topic, and it's.
I'm asking you very detrimental.
Hey, Sam, how are you? Okay, good.
Was they not all chosen?
Oh, of course. Yeah. So they're not particularly.
One named the Messiah, the anointed.
Not
different
all.
from all other prophets, so you say.
So look.
Different from all.
It seems like you're moving, which is fine, yeah. But let's take it easy. When it says Messiah, no, that's fine. When you say Messiah, they were all claimants to be Messiah. Now, if you read Josephus or Flavius, he's a historian. He claims at that time all of the Jews, even he himself, and Herod, they were all waiting for a Jewish Messiah. Now, Herod was claiming he was a Jewish Messiah, but the Messiah was not an attribute only given to Jesus. There was Simon of Perea, Simon bin Kochba in the 135 revolt. Sumerian, the Egyptian. Josephus Flavius, in his book The Jewish-Roman Wars, he lists at least half a dozen messiahs. Even the Bible in Acts says, when at the tongue of Gamaliel, Judas and Theudas, do not be like them who were false apostles or false messiahs. So where did you say that?
Judas was known as a false
Not
messiah?
that Judas.
So which Judas?
There's one that was a false messiah. Do you mind if?
The new one?
Yeah, no problem. Come. Do you mind if I do it in ChatGPT, or you want Google, or what do you want? Yeah.
You could use chat to find it, and then.
Yeah. But look, Judas and Theudas in Acts. So, yeah. So I'm not even going to look at it. I know what's there. So these were men, amongst many men, who were claimants of the Messiah. And the Messiah was something which is synonymous with being the king of the Jews. So anyone who claimed to be the king of the Jews also were killed by the Roman Empire. Because to claim to be a king of the Jew meant that you were ushering in a kingdom and ushering out the rule of Rome. So every single person that ever claimed to be a Messiah claimed to be a king of the Jews. And for that reason, going back to your original question, is why every single one of them...
This Judas was a Messiah.
Arose in the days of the census, and this is Jerusalem's same figure described by Josephus, Judas led a revolt during the census when he is often associated with the origins of the Zealot movement. While if this is human, he will... So if he is human, it will collapse like Theudas and Judas, 1 second. Now type in, did he claim? Were they claimants to messiahship?
But you said it, so it should have been there. This is the ChatGPT, but let me see this one.
No problem. But this is in you asked where is it in there, so I showed you where in Acts it is. But the original also claimed.
Your question's answered at the top of it.
Huh?
Your question's answered.
Yeah.
It says they're not.
Explicitly. Yeah, not explicitly. So if you read Josephus.
Where does it say it?
So you use collaborative information.
Oh, no.
You can't only use the Bible. Look, we have to be sincere.
It's not just the Bible, and I am being sincere, my friend. That's the thing.
Okay.
I've walked both roads, you know, to try and figure out the truth.
Okay, so explain to me what you think this is then. If it's Theudas and Judas we just heard about now,
As you say,
why do you say they're not claimants of Messiah?
Because you said that it's there. You ChatGPT.
No, I said that the names in the Bible, Josephus of Flavius, you know who Josephus of Flavius is? He's
Whether
a...
I know who that is or not, I need to see where it says scripture verse that they claim to be.
No, not everything is in the
But you
Bible,
said
my
it.
friend.
I'm just
No,
saying
that's not what I said.
It's not in the Bible.
I know. I said Judas.
So then where do you get this
Listen, one second.
information?
I said Josephus of Flavius, yeah, in his book, The Roman Jewish Wars, yeah, he mentions half a dozen claimants of being Messiah. And now, in being a Messiah means that you are the king of the Jews. It's a statement which is synonymous. The moment someone claims to be a king in Jerusalem, first century one, it means that they're also claiming to be the Messiah. Did you follow that?
Claim to be king.
Of course, the king of the Jews. This is what they say.
So
They
then
crucified
Jesus
him.
claimed to be the Messiah through
yes,
Bible ones.
yes, we don't doubt that.
Then what I need to know is where's the change in between?
What do you mean?
know,
I'm
alright,
losing
sorry,
you.
sorry.
But do you understand? Wait there, 1 second. They claim to be kings,
I
yeah?
let you talk for a very long time.
Yeah,
my
that's
friend.
right.
What
But I'm answering questions. That's the only one.
Yeah, and I've listened. Now, the main thing I want to know is this. Muhammad on his deathbed says he don't know where he goes.
But you're jumping
How
from
could we-
topic to topic.
So are you? I'm just going.
No, I'm not. I'm following your
trying to
topic.
understand about Islam.
I'm just following
If
your
you want
topic.
me to join
No,
the
no problem, no problem. Go answer. I'm not shying from
If
the
I was a
question.
Mormon man, you could.
But what we have to do is we have to have no, you're right. What we have to
That's
do
what I'm
though
trying
is
to
have
say.
linear. We can't be just jumping for no reason. If there's a good reason, I'm more than happy. But go for it. Ask your question.
So right now, I don't see any proof that it says, as you say, X or whatever. We should use other understandings to try and understand if this was the case. You just said you can't use the Bible to just say these lot made the claim. You have to go X.
No, you have to use all resources available.
What is all resources?
It can be historical resources on top of the Bible. For example, the Bible has many statements within it. Let's say the Temple of Solomon. How do we know about the Temple of Solomon? How do we know about First Temple, Second Temple, Jerusalem? We look at resources. One of the most famous resources is Josephus of Flavius. The most things we understand about Jerusalem is because of Josephus. Yeah. So there's a wide, you have to consult a wide range of sources.
If I may, it might be worth considering that a lot of the things you think are in the Bible are specifically not from the Bible. You just are taught them as though they are. Like everything Josephus says, for example. Mark
Why are
himself
we taking
came-
Josephus' word as gospel?
He's one of the
No,
earliest,
not
like,
gospel.
big boys in Christianity, period. Like in the immediate centuries following, he's like the only real voice that you have that's with authority. That's something I literally saw the other day. So.
How much work must we do to enter the kingdom?
No, we in Islam, we believe that we have to do works. You cannot divorce works.
When is enough?
No, it's not about reaching a certain amount, it's your endeavor. Yes, your endeavor. You cannot sit there, for example, you're thirsty, and what are you going to do? You're going to drink water. If you believe in God, then you're going to act. You can't sit there and just say simply, I believe in God, and not do anything. And this idea of divorce in Acts, which is a Pauline concept, where he says, for faith without works, you don't get salvation. We don't believe this. This nonsense. The disciples did not believe this. In Acts also, he says...
But Jesus believed this.
No, I'll show you. Jesus says, yeah, in Matthew, he says, do not think I have come to abolish the law nor the prophets, rather I have come to fulfill them. Do you remember this? He says, do as the Pharisees say.
I talk about when he was talking about Moses, though.
No. Well, Moses' law is what he follows anyway.
Yeah, but when he said he came to add two, I'm just trying to say, that's when he said if you
No, he says fulfill.
Eye for eye, turn the other cheek. Is that the same one you're talking about?
Yeah, this is part of it. So even in this one, he says, the eye that you've heard it said, even him saying you have heard it said, you have heard it written, shows that he's fully acquainted with the law, the books, and he's also saying that you don't abolish it. He says the eye that you have heard it say the fornicator or something. I say unto you, the eye that looks upon a person lustfully has fornicated. So he didn't abolish any law. In fact, he tightened. He tightened. Do you understand? So this is what we're talking about. Jesus did actually teach the law. He didn't say no to the law. He said, ye should not enter into the kingdom in the very least unless your deeds exceed the deeds of the Pharisees and the
So does it mean that he
Sadducees.
says that you won't enter the kingdom unless you be born again by fire and water?
No, I don't know. I don't know where you get
You
that.
don't know?
No, what verse?
Let me get it.
That does sound familiar, so I don't
It's very familiar.
Yeah, by fire and thing.
Sounds like it's in there.
So John the
Let me
Baptist,
just say
he
that's
says,
fine, but the Holy Ghost, you know, the Holy Spirit. Sometimes I paraphrase. I'm Jamaican as well, so we talk different. Holy Ghost, Holy Fire.
well, John the Baptist said fire. So
You understand? So
John the Baptist, no, that's fine, that's fine. I understand if you say you're Pharisee. I'm not trying to catch it or not. It's not debate, don't think.
No, but that's just what I'm saying. As you just said, you can't enter without the works. I'm just saying, he also said
Jesus
you
said
can't
this,
enter.
unless you're, do you know what I mean? Jesus said this. If you don't know the verse, I'm happy to pull it out.
Jesus said
Yeah. Just going back to your previous statement that Jesus said that you don't have to do works. I said he does say that you have to do works. I said Matthew, and then I pointed out the verses. So that was your last one, that the understanding that works, this is your question or the topic you were asking, that works is associated with belief. And in Islam we believe this as well. You cannot say you're thirsty except that you want to drink, nor you can say you're hungry.
I believe it exactly as you say.
Yeah.
But I just don't believe that's the only way you're going to get into the kingdom.
Okay,
I don't believe it.
but where do you get the basis of your belief?
What Christ says.
But why? How do you know what Christ
Let the
says?
man be. Well, first off, tell me what Christ didn't say.
No, we can't. That's a big guess.
Alright,
You can't argue
so
the
I'm just
negative.
telling you what's in the book.
No, yeah. But this is what we said. So what's your name again? What's his name again? Lamar, nice name. So Lamar, listen, as in you. First of all, yeah, the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are written way after Jesus. Yeah, way after Jesus. Matthew is written. No, Quran is said to be from Allah. It's not said to be from man. So it could be in the future, 1 million years in the future. We say Allah is all-knowing. Who is Sami'ul Alim. Allah, He sees and He knows.
Yes, I understand all that, but what I'm trying to say is, for us to believe a religion that came 600 years after, that now makes all these claims, you know, it has to be backed up with proof.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of times when you look for the claims of the Quran, certain things ain't there.
Like what?
Like when it might say to you that, as Muslims will say, the Quran supersedes all books. By this we be judged and so on.
Yeah.
Then it would also tell you that you're meant to go to the people of.
You've heard this one, yeah?
We've
heard this one.
Was that? Yeah, so Abdullah bin Salam, he was a Jew, yeah. He was a Jew.
Say that go back in your own book. Does it not say go back to the people of the scriptures?
No. Ahl al-Kitab, yeah. It's talking about Abdullah bin Salam to confirm information which is in the Quran. We have no problem with this. So what's in the Quran?
To confirm the Quran, you have to go back to the gospel.
No, to confirm not the Quran in its entirety.
How do you know it's true?
One second, Lamar, one second. No, we can get into this. We can get into this. No problem. We can get into this. So the
Quran must be a prophet of God.
So the Quran, it makes a claim.
Islam is based off of what Waraka said.
Well, let's see what Waraka said. Let's see what Waraka said. You want to focus on what the Quran says about the confirmation or Waraka? Choose one.
I'm just saying what.
Let me engage with what you're saying, Lamar. Let me engage with what you're saying, Lamar.
Listen,
remember,
you're
this
the
is
man of wisdom.
No, I'm not a man of wisdom.
And the cameras.
No.
I'm just a man with real my shop.
No, that's fine. So look at the Quran makes a statement. Statements about Tawheed, the belief of. Oh, hear me, Lamar. The Quran, it makes statements about one God, etc. Then it says, ask the people in their book about these claims. So it's not about the entirety. It makes no sense because the Quran in itself goes against many things within the Bible. For example, the crucifixion of Jesus is not in the Quran. It says, وَمَا قَتَلُوهُ وَمَا صَلَبُوهُ. They not kill him, nor did they crucify. So how does the Quran, one second Lamar, how can the Quran confirm everything in the Bible? This is a misnomer. This is a misattribution. So this is wrong.
Somewhere.
The argument is batil. No. What we say Christianity is not true. We don't say Christianity is true.
He did not die and he was not crucified.
Yeah, it was made to look at.
We need to know who was these witnesses that saw and confirmed.
Yeah,
he didn't die and he wasn't crucified.
No, but who are the witnesses in the thing that did say he died?
His mother was there.
No, she never wrote nothing.
She was there.
She never wrote nothing, Lamar.
John was there.
John who?
John.
The author of the Gospel?
Yes.
Well, he's not the author of the Gospel. It was written in Ephesus in year 90 to 95.
Yeah, of course I'm good.
It was everything was written between 70 years after Jesus' death.
No. The 70 years is Mark. 80 to 85. You're jumping topic to Lamar. It's just that I'm answering every single one of your questions, but it's going from here to here.
Let me answer you.
Yeah.
God gave people, I believe, 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason.
Yeah.
You're meant to listen with one and hear with the next.
Okay.
2 eyes, 1 to look.
But you have to say
see.
something, isn't it?
1 brain on the head, overstand everything. Yeah. 2 feet he give you. You can either walk the good road or you can walk the bad road. and he gives you two hands.
Okay.
You can either build and you destroy.
I'm with you, I agree with you.
So I look at these things and I say, these are detrimental to man.
What's that?
You know,
You haven't mentioned anything. You said Warqa bin Nawfal, you said this, you jumped many topics and I've engaged with you.
answering me.
Which one haven't I answered you?
All right then.
Which
So
one? No,
when
no, no, don't say it,
Hold
Lamar.
on, hold on. I'm gonna go.
So now going to a new one.
Warqa, as I just said, you said I didn't jump in. You said
No,
asked
no,
me
you
my
said I
question.
haven't answered your question.
All right. So now
I
let
said
me
I
know.
have.
So
I
now
said
let me
which
know.
one?
When Warqa said to Muhammad
Yeah.
that when he was choked in a cave, shook up and all of this stuff, oh, it must be from God. You must be. How?
So that's your question.
That's my very-
It's not argument, it's a question, that's fine, yeah? That's fine. And now this is what I'm saying, it's like, as in, I want to
Now
understand.
remember, I asked you a direct question, so I need to know why she said it. and
He
what that means.
said it. He said it.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm going to tell you exactly what he said, and I'm going to tell you why he said it. Yeah. But I need to know why are you jumping from topic to topic afterwards. Yeah. As in, what's the purpose of you? Is it to waste time, or are you genuinely asking, or anything? Yeah. So Warqa bin Nawfal, no problem. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as you know, in Cave al-Ghar al-Hira, he used to. In Sahih Bukhari, which is our books of hadith, which mention everything that happened. First chapter is Kayfa Ya'ti ila Rasulullah sallallahu al-Wahi. How did revelation come to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu? So the first hadith it mentions Budi alayhi. The first thing that started off him min al-Wahi from revelation was Ru'ya Salihah. That he used to see the things happening, and then it would in his dreams, finamihim, yeah, and then it used to come true. Anyway, towards the end of that hadith, he isolated and he went to Ghar al-Hira, which is a cave, and then the hadith says that the angel Jibril came to him and he says Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq, recite in the name of the Lord who had created you. And then the Prophet Muhammad says ma ana biqari, he says I'm not one who can read. He said, because he is from a nation which is
It's
ummi.
detrimental to be able to read for yourself, you know. Anyone can tell you anything if you can't read.
Well, the
Go ahead.
disciples in Acts are known not to read as well, so it's not surprising. Jesus also called them fishermen. So if you believe that it's detrimental, then the disciples is detrimental for them.
Which disciples couldn't read?
I'll show you. Yeah,
Figure
sure.
writing is quite a rare skill back in the day. Be aware.
Yeah, only-
no one did it except if you actually had like.
Yeah, this is a massive statement, detrimental to the disciples. And this is the thing, as in, I'll show you now.
I need to know the disciples.
The disciples were a grammatory,
No. So I need to know the disciples didn't read. They couldn't read.
Yes,
the
that's
time
what a
of Christ.
grammatory means. Here you go. So you read that. Do you know Peter and John?
Listen, I don't understand sometimes with these fancy words, you know.
Well, Peter and John, a grammar means someone
unlettered,
who can,
I
yes.
get it.
Yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
Without formal education.
So I
not
would-
trained. Okay. it
so I
doesn't
would take
necessarily
that
mean
statement back.
illiterate in the modern sense, unable to read at all. The first century Jewish context, it likely means they were not formally trained as scribes. They had not studied in rabbinic schools. Okay. But I need to know
You need to know.
where it says that they couldn't read. I see it says what it means, what the word means, but I don't see it
Okay, that's
scripture
fine.
where
If
it
you
says.
can't see it yet, then I can't force you to make it be seen. No, the problem.
If you could show me, I would look at it. But
Show you what?
there's no context.
It says
there's
here-
no word there where it says this is the Bible verse. Let's say I'm just gonna Proverbs 2:1. It says it obviously not gonna be in Proverbs. I'm just saying.
Honestly,
I don't
it's
see-
look Acts 4:13.
It says you're referring to disciples were rabbis. You said you're referring to.
Sometimes I think I've been a bit difficult. You know, I've been very Lamar. I've been very gracious
can you
and
search
things.
that then?
Yeah, sure, I could do that. I could do it, yeah.
Okay.
But the point is, yeah,
Because I'm a man. I don't like ignorance. So if I'm being
that's fine. That's
I
fine.
apologize.
No problem. Because I'm trying to be as gracious as well. I'm not talking down to you. If you're asking a question, I'm entertaining you.
Okay. Acts 4:13.
You can type it in the internet
highlights
yourself.
the astonishment of the Jewish council, Sanhedrin, at the boldness of Peter and John. Wait, hold on. You don't need to scroll past.
No, go into the Bible if
That
you
we
want.
should spy uneducated and ordinary men, untrained. Okay, yeah, the same thing. Their courage doesn't mean them from having with Jesus. Okay. Context following the miraculous healing of the layman, Peter and John were
We ain't
arrested and
that kind
brought
of
before the
charity. Even if I
council.
was,
Leaders were not recognized men of formal, high-level religious training, yet spoke with immense conviction. My friend,
What do you want? One of these?
You just went into that link. So why are you blaming me?
wait, hold on. Did you not search this?
No, I put in Acts thing. Look.
I haven't clicked no link.
So why is it? Did you just see me press a thing? Go
I
to
can
Bible.
show
One
more.
second.
Sorry, no, I can
Lamar.
show more.
Yeah, exactly. That
want to read the whole
yeah,
thing?
that's fine. But that's the
I didn't
first
go
link.
into a link.
When I scrolled past and tried to go into the Bible, you say, why am I scrolling past? Here, read it. When they said, no, Lamar, you're acting up on the camera, it's fine. Acts 4:13, yeah? Lamar, focus.
I didn't know I was
That's fine.
being
That's
sorry.
fine. That's fine. That's fine. Because you mentioned that I'm
saw
the
this
man,
one,
and you
but I
said
didn't-
there's
I thought this was
there's
just a mic.
1, 2, 3, 4 cameras, and you didn't notice. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. When there was standards took the men.
Sorry, because I was paying
Okay,
attention
so
to the
this now
conversation
is
from before.
Acts
Say that
4:13.
again.
They were uneducated,
So you
common
became
men.
Muslim when you were in
Yeah, they were unschooled, ordinary men. Unschooled, ordinary men. Unlearned, ignorant men. Uneducated,
Now,
untrained
when they
men.
saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled. They took knowledge of them. They had been with Jesus. Okay, now I need to know the whole context.
Look, you have to do your homework. I can't do that for you, honestly, Lamar.
That, my friend.
Listen, no problem. One second before you go, because you asked the question, yeah? And it just seems to be running from here to nothing, yeah? The disciples, about 10%, yeah, all scholarly studies on literature in the first century Palestine, yeah? Every single one of them says there was between 3% to 10% of the population that could read. Because the disciples of Jesus, do you remember what they were? They were fishermen. It was very unlikely that we're educated. Very, very unlikely.
fishermen?
Most of them, who?
Did you say, wait, so you say all of them is fishermen?
No, we're talking about John and Peter right now, yeah? They were fishermen. It was very unlikely that they could read, and that's why the verse says that they're grammar taught. Now, you can argue all you want, no problem, but you haven't read about it enough to argue.
I'll take that then.
But every single
But if so,
scholar...
that's
yeah.
only the 2 out of the 12.
No, it doesn't matter,
That's
but
the
your
case.
point was, yeah, that is detrimental. This is what you say word for word, that is detrimental if they cannot read.
Saying
No,
that this
no,
is from.
no.
There's a big difference.
No, sure. We have no
Muhammad
evidence
comes
that
with
Jesus
and
ever
says,
wrote
this is-
anything either.
We have
There's
no
no
evidence that
evidence.
Muhammad
exactly.
wrote- that Muhammad
But that's not my
wrote these
argument.
things.
It's your argument.
Listen,
You can't
see, we
pose
end up
your
on-
argument
No, but what I'm
on
saying
me.
is we end
I'm
up
not
on
agreeing with your argument. No, we're not. We're on
end up
crossroad.
right there.
It's you that shoots yourself in the foot and then you impose it on me. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
Jesus, we have no evidence that he wrote a single thing in all of his mystery. To say that, for example, a prophet cannot write, yeah, and it's detrimental, then you have to furnish proper proof.
You know, the reason why I just say these things, and sorry again as I say it sounds big, because I'm not ignorant.
No problem.
I ask these things because
And I was hella depressed before then. I was dealing with a lot. I wasn't actually doing
Muhammad,
it,
as we
but
just
I
said,
also
he couldn't read or write. Yeah?
Yeah.
But he was told these things and were led to believe, okay, recite, this is it, and we take it for what it is.
Now I'm pretty fine. But the best thing
I want to know, okay, so when, at what time was Muhammad? Because there's records that Jesus Christ lived and died.
Yeah.
I need to know the records that Muhammad, as you just
So I've
said,
been saying I'm on the
for us to take these words, where's the records that Muhammad lived?
So now you jump to another question. What do we know for this? Is what I'm saying. As in, and then when I speak to you about things that you're unaware of, you argue about them, which is fine. But it's like it's not a genuine discussion, Lamar. People are genuine. No, people know this, and you know this as well. You know this. Where you running to, Lamar? Lamar, where you running to? Gets too hot in the kitchen, Lamar. Yeah. Hey, son. It's like, what was the need for that? Ask